Our next speaker, she's somebody who has ran Speechcraft, and she's actually organized Speechcraft for people who want to get involved in climate change. So Speechcraft, unlike the normal Speechcraft, this is a Toastmaster thing for those who don't know, she has specifically done for climate change, because something that Guy was saying, it's actually quite difficult to articulate and speak about the environment. And sometimes it's really good to just be able to go and speak about the environment or difficult subjects in places like Speechcraft, where you can evolve your speeches, and at the same time you can get evaluations. So that's brilliant, Shirley. That's great. Her background, her interest in the environment started when Chernobyl happened in 1986. She went on to do a PhD and started looking at brown sites, the contamination of these sites. And she helps companies, I think it's just in Ireland, is that right, Shirley?
No.
All right, across the world, sorry, I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, she helps companies to decarbonize, to reduce their carbon footprint. The title of her speech is about global warming. It is, if not now, then when? So please welcome Dr. Shirley Gallagher. Welcome, Dr. Shirley Gallagher. Thank you.
There are a lot of corners on climate change, making it a minefield to navigate. It is complicated, and scientists are often not equipped to tell their story. Never mind, sell their story. Toastmaster Kavita, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Tonight, I will share with you one scientific fact and present 4 tips to reduce your carbon footprint and to take action. Einstein said, "Those who know have a duty to act." This presentation tonight is part of my duty. Climate change advocates liken their mission to that of the health industry trying to flag that smoking was harmful. That fight took 40 years. We don't have that wiggle room. In fact, we're on the back foot, and the recent report from the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change, or IPCC for short, confirms, if not now, it could be too late before we pass the Rubicon, the point of no return. The IPCC brings together all scientific data from peer-reviewed climatologists. They measure, analyze, and report, and every 8 years they publish. They did this in February. We do need action at a country level because too little has been done to date. I will explain why global warming is an issue so you can understand why it's so critical that the planet meets the Paris Agreement. This was agreed at the United Nations Conference of the Parties, or COP, where in 2015, 192 countries agreed they would take action. They agreed to maintain temperatures of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial temperatures, or 2.7, as Leonardo was saying earlier, in Fahrenheit. We are currently sitting around 1.2, depending on the data source. But it hasn't been this warm for over 10,000 years on the planet. Let's zoom up onto the International Space Station. From space, our planet appears as a pale blue dot. Around our planet are layers of atmosphere. Everything we breathe in is from this atmosphere, and everything we breathe out goes back into it. The key scientific fact, as the planet heats up, more water evaporates. I have a glass, Antonio. And as, if you remember our pale blue dot, its surface is covered by 70% water. As global temperatures increase, there's more water vapor in the atmosphere, as hotter air carries more water vapor. Water forms clouds, and it's an orchestra of physics laws meeting in a crescendo. Boyle's, Charles, Newton's. Clouds meet an obstacle, a mountain, a headwind, and they drop their load. Gravity wins. Because water molecules in the clouds just got too heavy and they fall. With a hotter, moister climate, there is greater unpredictability. This is, what's happening at 1.2 degrees Celsius. If it gets warmer, what will happen? But as polar ice caps melt, they no longer provide a reflection, exacerbating the situation. We've got ice melting causing droughts in places such as the Himalayas and further downstream. There are floods in others with sea level rise in Cork and Kolkata. And then there can be flash floods in areas from Australia to Germany. Never mind the global south, with countries such as the Marshall Islands knowing they are doomed. Talk about a cancel culture. As Greta shouts across the world, our house is on fire. What can you do? You can follow me in taking simple daily steps to make a difference. Buy things that are built to last. You've heard these before. Reuse what you can. And instead of buying products for presents, give experiences. The cultural sector will thank you for it too. These daily steps that consume less give you hope. But what is needed to make a global difference is to contact your public representative and ask them, what are they doing? And if not now, when? Because every vote is a vote for climate action. Whilst the EU has taken action with climate law issued last July, targeting decarbonisation by 55% in the next 8 years and complete decarbonisation by 2050, it's a brave politician that will act for the long term. But if they have a mandate, your mandate, they will not just set targets, they will act. So in conclusion, a triple existential threat hangs over our planet. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and global water scarcity. We are being told by eminent climatologists in the IPCC, we are out of time. And it's time to act now. So fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, now you know it is your duty to act. And if not now, when? Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you brought in the quote right at the end again, because that is what I've taken on board. Those who know have a duty to act. And that was my feeling for a long, long time. So hence I created this event. I've got lots of other plans, but this is going along sort of Leonardo's line and other people's line. So thank you so much for bringing that quote in.